What's up, everybody? How are we doing tonight? Welcome back to another weekly live stream here on Celtics Digest, where we go over the Celtics in their past week. We look at the Celtics going forward and answer all questions revolving around this Celtics team. And as you can tell from the stream title, the Celtics have a golden opportunity here. We've seen them gone on a little bit of a rut in December, and it's left fans to really question the legitimacy of this team pushing forward, even though most fans, including myself, feel very confident that this Celtics team is still atop of the Eastern Conference and still atop the NBA as defending champions. And unfortunately, when I went to TD Garden on Saturday night, I got to see them lose in that back-to-back with the Atlanta Hawks, where they previously won the night before versus the Orlando Magic, which we'll get into in a little bit. But the Celtics are gearing up for another back-to-back with the Clippers and Lakers, taking on the Clippers tonight, taking on the Lakers tomorrow, and trying to keep this nice little run going as they got a big 40-point win versus the Golden State Warriors just the other day. And we're going to be diving in and looking at all of that and more. If you guys got any questions, anything you want to talk about Boston Celtics, fire them down below in the chat and we will get to it. But I do see we already have some chats in here as well, so I liking what we've seen. We got Khaleesi here giving some shamrocks. Josh Crampton, my boy Crampy's in here as always. Shout out to my boy. And Alec Richards from the Discord. What's up, Alec? How are we doing tonight? Glad we got some folks in here as well. If you guys are in the stream and you guys do want more people to join, hit the like button so we can get more people as well. But let's dive in and let's, hit the wrong button. Let me find out. There we go. Let's talk about this Celtics team. As like I mentioned, we're going to go over them in the last week. And if you guys were here in last week's episode, we had my special guest, Eamon, on here from Last Word, and he broke down some great things for this Celtics team. But last week, we saw the Celtics on a little bit of a stretch. They played the Pelicans, and they played the Kings. But obviously, the Celtics had a lengthier stretch here, as following that night from the recording, they obviously played the Raptors, and then they went to play on the Magic, Hawks, and Warriors. So we're going to be diving in, looking at all four of these games as well, going over it, and just going over everything. We got some more people in here. Yao Servi, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Let's go. And Skies. So what's up, everyone? How you guys doing? Glad to see everyone's in the chat. And like I mentioned, the Boston Celtics, just a couple weeks ago, just last Wednesday, took on this Toronto Raptors team. And this is where a lot of fans started to see concern with this Celtics squad over this last week, as they were completely embarrassed when they went on this little one-game road trip to Toronto, where they lost 110-97. And we saw in this game here from the Boston Celtics that they were outshot by the Toronto Raptors from the field goal percentage and were out-rebounded in this game as well. The Raptors also had 20 more points in the paint from guys like Jakob Poeltl and others amongst that were very dominant to be able to stop this team. Boston Celtics, like we said, had some shooting struggles over the last couple games, and this was resulting in that we saw Kristaps Porziņģis be very, very solid as well. But guys like Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown did struggle shooting this night, and the Celtics basically had waved the white flag in the third quarter. Peyton Pritchard did erupt for 20 points, which was nice to see in a little bit of a bounce back. But unfortunately, this was a little bit of a turning point for Celtics fans last week. When they saw that game, a lot of fans started to overreact. A lot of stands started to freak out, including myself, who was coming at this Boston Celtics team. We did see them be able to bounce back. We got Alec Richards giving some shamrocks. Matthew Souza as well, always in the comment section. What's up, Matthew? And Yao Servi saying perfect pronunciation. Let's go. I thought I nailed it. I'm Portuguese myself. I believe that's Portuguese. So I kind of figured I could nail it, but I'm glad I was able to do that. But like I said, the Celtics went in and they took on their first stand in the back-to-back, and I actually clicked on the Raptors game again. Oopsie. My bad. We got the Magic here. And like I mentioned, Celtics took on the Magic. They needed a little bit of a bounce back win after losing to the Raptors, and they got that bounce back win at home. Took on the Orlando Magic. Paolo Banchero was back in this contest, but Franz Wagner was not. And that resulted and obviously the Boston Celtics taking it pretty much to town to this team. There was just no stop for Kristaps Porziņģis here, as once again he had 23 points, Jaylen Brown 20, and Jayson Tatum was absolutely electric in this game. Really, really setting up this team, not only offensively with his playmaking, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, but he delivered in his shot creation as well in this game to really step up for the Boston Celtics to play alongside Kristaps Porziņģis and Jaylen Brown. Peyton Pritchard was a little bit quiet in this game. And then, like I mentioned, we get to the Hawks game, which I was in person at. And let me tell you, it was nice to be at this Hawks game. It was nice to be at TD Garden. I'm hoping to be back at least one more time throughout the season. I'm going to be trying to go to the game versus the Spurs in a couple weeks. I'm a big CP fan, and I really, really want to see Chris Paul play, so I will be tuning into that. And I'm just going to go over this game, and then I'll get to the comments back that I see popping up. But like I mentioned, I was in person in this game. Shout out to the boys at How About Them Celtics crew. Sam LaFrance was not there, but he was on stream. But Jack was there, and he was very kind enough to say hi to me and wave to me from where he was in the press box. So I was very, very happy to be able to see them and, get my little kind gesture. It was very, very nice. But going to the game here, Celtics unfortunately, realistically, lost this game due to some really, really bad struggles offensively. They went cold throughout some points. Defensively, they were pretty solid. In the first quarter, they were very dominant. They had 5 steals as a team compared to the Hawks 0. And that was a big key dividend in why they were outscoring the Hawks 33-21. But the Celtics really went cold in that second quarter where they only scored 15 points. And in both of those quarters, they scored 45 points combined. Only 12 more than they did in the first, which was not great. Now, unfortunately for the Celtics, they had some late game shenanigans as well. If you want to look at the box score for the Hawks, we obviously saw them getting a little bit of a scuffle, but Dyson Daniels, Trae Young were able to hit some shots. Jalen Johnson was clutch at the end. Onyeka Okongwu and Andre Hunter, they were solid. And then for the Celtics, Jayson Tatum, realistically, after I saw how he played versus the Orlando Magic, I thought he was going to take this night off and just be a facilitator, be a rebounder, and we really did see that early on. But then the Celtics started to struggle in that second quarter scoring, so they asked Jayson Tatum to do a little bit more, and Jayson Tatum tried to do his best. He finished with 23 points, obviously 8 rebounds and 7 assists there for the Celtics, but it just wasn't enough. Luke Kornet was surprisingly the MVP of this game, but he did not see much run late in the game, which was a shock to most Celtics fans in the stands and on social media, as Luke Kornet was 7 for 9 from the field, 3 for 4 from the field. He did have 7 rebounds, 17 points. Joe went finishing with Queta, and honestly, that wasn't great. Jrue Holiday wasn't the best defensively. He lacked a little bit this game. Derrick did have a lot of shot opportunities, but was able to come to life, and there were rhythms and points where him and Luke Kornet were in stride that were really successful. And once again, Jaylen Brown saw some shooting struggles as well. The Celtics, realistically, Peyton Pritchard played really good, 20 points, but Sam Hauser, 0 for 7 from the field, was not on the money. But the Celtics, like we mentioned, even though they had that heartbreaking loss with me in stands, and I was very disappointed, they were able to bounce back and get this win versus the Warriors. And this is where the golden opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, strikes, because I truly believe that this is the turning point for the Boston Celtics. We saw last season, right, when they went on this Western Conference road trip, we saw the emergence of Namish Queta, and that's where he really, really just started to pan out. And I think we could see that, maybe even not with Namish, but one of these guys on this bench unit kind of going into these games. With the Celtics having guys like Porziņģis and guys like Jrue Holiday and Horford questionable going into this game, I do believe we could see maybe Jordan Walsh get some experience minutes, Javier Tillman, Namish Queta, and maybe one of those guys could really be a blossoming on this Western Conference road trip, similar to what we saw, but like last season with Queta. But like I said, Celtics got a dominating win versus the Warriors, just took it to them, absolutely belittled them, and I love to see this. My friends know, Josh Crampton, who's in the chat, knows I'm a big downfall of the Warriors dynasty. I'm rooting for the fall at this point, and I love that the Boston Celtics were able to take it to the Warriors in this game for revenge in 2022. But yeah, like I said, the Celtics team really bounced back. Everyone played a good game. Derrick was consistent even though he didn't take that many shot attempts. Jaylen Brown was effective. Jrue Holiday was effective. Porziņģis, Tatum, and they basically waved the white flag, or should have waved the white flag earlier on, but guys like Sam Hauser was really big. Luke Kornet once again, Peyton Pritchard, and Luke Kornet and Peyton Pritchard realistically have been those two difference makers for this Boston Celtics team. I want to hit the wrong button. Which one is it? Is it this one? No, this one. Yay, there we go. All right, I found the right button. But Sorry. Like I was saying, realistically, Luke Cornett and Peyton Pritchard have been those X factors for this Celtics bench, and I'm a really, really big believer in that. And Luke Cornett, realistically, I think, has been the most underappreciated Boston Celtic this season because he's been doing his job, been doing his role, and filling in and stepping up most when the Celtics need it. And I would love to see Luke Cornett really go on this run. Like I said, Luke Cornett is just traditionally there when the Celtics need him most. You need him down low in the post to go up and get some to score in the post, he'll do it. You need him to go up and defend the guy or set a screen, he'll do it. You need him to give a nice Cornett contest, he'll go do it. Luke Cornett is the definition of a guy that's willing to do whatever. And last season I was a little hard on Luke Cornett, but this season he has really, really turned me around on his perception for this game and how realistically impactful he is for this Celtics team. And I wouldn't be lying to you. If the Celtics did not have Luke Cornett, if they lost him in this free agency, the Celtics would have a big hole at that center position because Namish Keita, in my opinion, has shown glimpses of some greatness. But like I saw in person on Saturday night, he is not the perfect player yet, and Xavier Tillman hasn't been able to get that shine so far with the Celtics. So with Al Horford and Kristaps Porziņģis getting a little bit older in age, dealing with some injuries, having Luke Cornett as that backup big is key for this Celtics squad. But let's dive in. Let's look at some chats from everybody here that's still in here. Like I said, Alec Richards says he'd like to see the Celtics more aggressive on defense, and that's something I like to see as well. I think the Celtics defensively this season in 2025, this year actually I should be saying, have obviously been a little bit weaker, specifically in the fourth quarter here. And the Celtics have, kind of shrunken in that fourth quarter. I did see it in person with the Atlanta Hawks. We did see it, in numerous games this year. The Kings game, for example, just only a couple nights ago. But I do believe that the Celtics' nature will start to pick up on the defensive side, and we will see them. Like I said, they're just in a little bit of a rut. They're still a top defensive team across the league, according to the stats. Give me Walsh more minutes against the Raptors. Perfect opportunity. That's what I'm saying, Matthew Souza. I would love to see Jordan Walsh get some more experience run because I truly believe that if the Celtics really invest in a guy in Jordan Walsh, I think he could be that type of guy for them, similar to what Brissett played for them, and maybe a little bit different. Maybe he's definitely a better three-point shooter than O'Shea Brissett, as we saw him hit back-to-back threes in that Warriors finish there. But I truly do believe he has those offensive qualities to be that aggressive rebounder, to be that do-it-all type of guy for this team. I think maybe fitting more to a Grant Williams role where he can be more of a stretch guy. But I realistically really like Jordan Walsh. My friend Shiv as well is a huge Jordan Walsh guy, and I want to see him get that opportunity. And if Sam Hauser's struggling offensively, I think Jordan Walsh could be a guy to step up. But if he's not getting those minutes, maybe the Celtics do have to look at a trade or look at a possibility to add someone else on the trade market to kind of filter in out that wing position. That has been discussed, and I will let you know right now for you guys watching this video, check Celtics Digest after following this stream, as you might see something revolving around a possible trade coming up soon. I'm Brazilian. Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And Matthew Souza's Portuguese. Nice, nice. My only concern is both teams we beat had no bigs. Really had to contest or even defend KP. And yeah, that's the thing that's tough with the Warriors. They don't have any really solid bigs, and that's why Kristaps Porziņģis was so dominant for the Boston Celtics early on. And in this game, it just kind of taking him to work. And I think the Celtics kind of had that hole when they played the Atlanta Hawks and the Orlando Magic on that last back-to-back. We saw the Celtics play both bigs on Friday night, which they usually don't do. They usually stagger the bigs. They usually play one night and they play the one the next night. That's something they didn't do. They played both on Friday. Porziņģis said he was expecting to be ready to go for their next opportunity. He wanted to play on Saturday, but they were both ruled out for that Saturday contest, which leads me to believe that obviously the Celtics, without their best big, had to run with Luke and Namish, and obviously it didn't really work out, but having one of those guys would have helped out. Now tonight, I did see that on my video that I uploaded, I talked about Holiday and Horford being questionable, but Porziņģis was a late add as a non-COVID illness. I'll definitely keep my eyes on that as we get closer to game time. But as you guys know, they're in the West Coast, so game time is 10:30. So who's staying up? Who's going to be watching this Celtics game late? And who's going to be checking out the post game? Going up at 1:30, 2 in the morning. Troopers, I appreciate you. I truly think Walsh can make an impact if he got played bigger minutes. Not big minutes, but a few so he can defend off and find an offensive identity. That's what I agree with Matthew as well. I truly think that he can play those minutes that Brizzy played last season. We saw with Brissett, he got sporadic minutes. Even in the playoffs throughout the regular season, it wasn't every single game, but consistently every 2 or 3 games he'd get 5, maybe 10 minutes thrown in, and then the next contest maybe he'd sit for 2, but then he'd get the next little jump. And I think a guy like Jordan Walsh kind of needs that motivation a little bit as well, needs that little extra push from the coaching staff to kind of get him in the game. We've seen him excel obviously at the main level, and we saw him even go down to main to play a game earlier on in the season just so he could actually get some reps in, and he looked very solid in that contest as well. So I truly believe a guy like Jordan Walsh, if not this season, has a role ready for this Celtics team in the future. And if they do trade for a wing on this market for this Boston Celtics team, I truly believe that it will not be a wing that is going to be a long-term wing. It will be a wing that is only here on a one-year deal for the Celtics to be able, obviously, to keep that flexibility with some of their younger guys in Shireman, Hauser, and Walsh. Yeah, Crampy, you're right. Cornette played very well. Dude, he's been playing awesome, and he's been very, very consistent for the Celtics this season. Like I said, when Kristaps Porziņģis was out for the beginning of the year, we saw Luke Cornette get that starting job, and a lot of people, including myself, when the Celtics played in Abu Dhabi in the preseason, said, why is Luke Cornette starting? What is going on? But Joe Mazzulla, Brad Stevens, you got to put your trust in them. They know how to cook, ladies and gentlemen, and they did just that because they went out there, they found out that Luke Cornette was going to work with this team, and they got it starting right from the get-go, even in training camp, knowing that it was going to work out, as he's such a big that knows how to work in the system. He's a great fundamental big. He just knows where to be at the right moments and can consistently help out the Boston Celtics in any asset that they need. You need him to set a screen, you need him to roll the basket, he can get a nice little dunk. You need him to give you a shot contest, he can give a shot contest. He can get you rebounds, he can give you contests at the rim. He is just going to do everything for you. He might not be an immediate impact in a specific area, but he's a genuinely solid big man all around. And that's what you consistently need on this Celtics squad. I agree, Souza. Yeah, I think we could find some minutes for him. Tillman don't excite me anymore. See, the thing is with Tillman is unfortunately just wasn't given that playing time due to the fact that Kata has really passed him in this rotation, and I don't really know what's gonna happen with Xavier Tillman. There's no obviously like trade rumor speculations. I don't have like any sources or anything like that. So like you guys know me, I can't like say anything is gonna happen because I genuinely do not know what's gonna happen. But we all know that Xavier Tillman is one of the two base Celtics players out of this 14-man roster that doesn't really play and doesn't really have a spot. The only good thing with Tillman is he does have an extra year on his contract. So for the Boston Celtics here, right? Obviously, Al Horford's getting a little bit older. He's going to be a free agent. The Celtics can still keep Xavier Tillman and basically tell him, hey, maybe this season you're not going to play that much, but we gave you 2 years so that you can have some insurance for next season, right? So with Al Horford getting a little bit older, if Al Horford decides to retire, which I don't see him doing, he hasn't shown any like iteration of that. But if Al Horford does come back to the Celtics on a cheaper contract or something like that, and he still wants to play, but obviously he's getting a little bit older and can't play as much, he can be a perfect mentor for Tillman, which we've kind of mentioned when Tillman was brought into this Celtics team, and maybe they could kind of split that role next year. But that's kind of just me like being happy about that and wanting to see that. Ultimately, I don't know if that's going to happen. And Tillman also could possibly be a name that could be shipped out the door, similar to last season, how the Celtics moved on from guys like Lamar Stevens and Delano Banton to upgrade some other holes. Guys like Jaden Springer and guys like Xavier Tillman, I could see possibly being those two names if the Celtics were to make any moves. I don't think they'll move off of any of the top six that they have, obviously, in Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, Jrue Holiday, Derrick White, Kristaps Porziņģis, Al Horford, even adding Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser to that conversation, and adding even guys like Luke Cornette, Neemias Queta, and stuff like that. I am so sorry about my dog barking right now. It is absolutely ridiculous. My dog doesn't know how to handle anything at any time of the day. See, that is the thing too. Is defense is a little bit off, but he knows where to be in the right spots for the Boston Celtics, and that's what I really like to see. And he has that, he has that connection with guys like Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser off that bench with that, bus one squad, stay ready group, whatever you want to call them. They all have that connection already from playing with each other so much, for playing with each other for a couple seasons now. So I like that consistency. I think he could be better than Brissett, and that's the thing too. I think he can be better than Brissett as well. I ultimately believe that he has more potential as a prospect than O'Shea Brissett And I think that if he's given the right ample time to play, he will be able to develop with that. And I think it will happen with this Celtics team. I don't see the Celtics giving up on Jordan Walsh. I don't see them including him in any trades. I don't see them even considering that. They love Jordan Walsh. They love the identity he brings for this Celtics team as a hustle guy, as a defender, as a guy that's willing to do it all, throw his body on the line. Ultimately, what you want as a Celtics fan, these are the type of players we love to see, and it invokes our happiness because we see that energy given out on the court, and that's what Celtics basketball means to all of us. And I think truly Jordan Walsh will find that role. It might not just be this season, but if it's not this season, I think next season he definitely should be finding that role. You want to see Joe Mazzulla also pressuring the guys to do their best. Hopefully, we see more bench time so they can develop for finals. Well, with the playoffs getting deeper and deeper, the roster will shrink. So ultimately, I don't know what their 8-man rotation would be. Well, their 8-man would obviously be the top six with PPE and Hauser, but they're gonna have to work another big in there. So Cornette would be into that 9-man. But yeah, I don't see anyone of the likes of, and Caden and Cornette could be rotational, but unless there's another guy, I don't see even Walsh playing in the finals. Maybe in the playoffs, but not the finals. 6'7" with a 7'4" wingspan is crazy. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. I might watch it. Thanks for the great content all the time, Bruce. Yeah, of course, Matt. Appreciate you guys. Like I said, you guys are the fuel that keeps this thing going, right? You guys, without you guys supporting, without you guys liking, sharing, reposting, commenting, hitting the subscribe button, doing whatever you guys do to show your appreciation, we don't get anywhere with Celtics Digest. I'd be uploading videos to two people watching. You guys are what keeps it going. You guys are the engine. You guys are the community, and that's what I appreciate the most, in my opinion. And I really, really do appreciate every single one of you that hits the like button, hits the subscribe button, shows your support in any single way, because it really, really does mean a lot to me personally as I try to push into my career, as I want to do this full time. I want to be able to be at the Celtics arena and be able to have a media pass and to be able to cover this team and to be able to do all this. And Digest Media has been so gracious, obviously, to be able to help me get on this platform and be able to push myself into that ladder. And I really do appreciate all the people that have showed the support. Like I said, we are so close to 6,000 subscribers, guys. We are realistically, really right on the moment. At this moment, we have 5,991 subscribers on my account that I see on my phone, which means we are only 9 subscribers away from our goal of 6,000 subscribers. And we've had this goal since around the summertime, where we want to hit 6,000 before the season start. Then we want to hit it before the end of the new year. But we're getting super close. And I can't believe that we're probably going to hit this goal by the end of this month, which has just been absolutely fantastic. Which is, like I said, from all your guys' support, from you guys tuning in, from you guys liking, from you guys showing your support, from you guys leaving your comments, from you guys joining the Discord and showing your love and telling me what videos to do. That is so much helpful as well. We have Rob Version, who I want to give a shout out. I know he's not watching right now, but he might be watching the VOD later. But he's always talking to me in the Celtics Discord chat, always bringing up topic ideas, always trying to get stuff to let me know about this Celtics team so that we can get content out for you guys, and he's been super helpful with that as well. And I just really appreciate the discussion, the discourse that I get to have with all of you guys in this type of stuff. So once again, thank you guys again so much for your realistic support on this channel, as it's been really beneficial. But let's get back into the Celtics stuff. Like I said, let's look more at these comments. Tillman looks out of shape and slow. I feel bad saying that, but it's just at what I see when he goes on the court. Now, well, that's the major concern with the Boston Celtics and Xavier Tillman, is that he just hasn't had that lateral quickness. The last game he did play in, not the Warriors game, but the one previous before that, my boy Nick was talking about his lateral quickness being a little bit back there. So I'll have to do a little bit more deep diving with Tillman. Like I said, he hasn't really seen the court that much, so it's really hard to evaluate him, because even when he's on the court for what, 4, 5, maybe 8 minutes at best, which isn't a great evaluation of a player, because he's playing in garbage time against some of the other garbage players. Yeah, we had 22 people watching. Yeah, we're down a little bit right now, but I went on my little rant, so I understand why. But like I said, you guys have been absolutely fantastic. Like I said, these streams are weekly, so if you are new to the stream, if you do enjoy the stream content, and you want to make sure you stay up to date on the streams, we do go live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. I will be breaking us down. We will have some more guests on in future episodes. This week, I'm not going to lie to you, I was super busy because if you don't know, I do other work besides Celtics Digest, where I work for the Suns and do Suns work as well. And I was super swamped with that, so I wasn't able to kind of get a guest on, but we will be in coordination with more people to have more people on as guests. And if anybody that does make content for the Boston Celtics that is watching this stream at any point or does watch this VOD and wants to hop on as a guest, always shout out, always reach out to me on Twitter. I'll subscribe on my work phone. I appreciate it, Matt. Rob Version is a great person, very knowledgeable on this. He's very, very knowledgeable. I know he's in a bunch of other Celtics chats as well, not just our Discord and our comment section. I see him amongst other YouTube comment sections as well, referencing the Celtics, but he is definitely very knowledgeable. I wonder if he's still recovering from his knee surgery, Tillman. Well, that could be, I don't think so. I don't think, to my knowledge, I thought he was okay. I know earlier to start the season he was recovering, but like I said, I ultimately think he's good now. But with the Celtics, obviously gearing up for their game tonight, before we sign off on the stream, let's dive in and let's look at the Celtics week ahead, ladies and gentlemen, because we obviously looked back at the last week, but let's look at the Boston Celtics schedule coming up here over these next couple of days. We do know they're on this Western Conference road trip starting tonight, where the Celtics take on the Los Angeles Clippers. Los Angeles Clippers are a tough matchup. They are one of the top teams in the Western Conference. Let's see how long it takes me to find it. Oh, first try, baby. Let's go. I remembered what button it was. I got too many buttons for things. But like I said, Celtics got their bounce back win versus the Warriors here on Monday, MLK Day, which was absolutely fantastic. And here they take on the Clippers tonight at 10:30. Now, I do believe the Celtics will be able to get this win even if they do not have some of their top players. To my knowledge, if I go on ESPN on my phone right now, I will figure out and look at the report of the injuries so we can see who is not playing. Now, for the Celtics, like I mentioned, they have 3 players on the injury report for game time decision, as Horford, Porziņģis, and Holiday are all game time. But for the Clippers, they have Norman Powell and Chris Dunn out, Kawhi out with James Harden and Batum day to day. What that says to me is that the Celtics should win this game regardless if they have starters out, as they should be able to attack this Clippers team inside. Now, Zubac is a very solid protector and rim beast. He's been dominating the paint, granting multiple 2020 games this season. But I do believe with the guards of Dunn and Powell out, we should see a good Peyton Pritchard and Derrick White game tonight. Then the Celtics, once again, take on the Lakers tomorrow, like I mentioned, in this back-to-back. And hopefully in this back-to-back, we see guys like Porziņģis, Horford, and Holiday available, as I think the Celtics would rather beat the Los Angeles Lakers and rather beat Anthony Davis and LeBron James than beat a shell-shocked Clippers team. And if the Celtics could be at full strength and could take down this Lakers team, that would be very fantastic. I do expect the Boston Celtics to beat the Lakers. I do think they are better, and I do think they have more guard play as well to kind of diversify them. I do trust our guards beating out Austin Reeves and stuff like that. I don't even know who Max Christie, I believe, is their other guard that they start. I couldn't tell you. And then the Celtics have an afternoon game on Saturday here, where they take on the Dallas Mavericks, which will be a good one. The Mavericks just recently lost, unfortunately, Derek Lively for a couple months without Luka Doncic. Getting Kyrie Irving back, have a lot of injuries to their team. It is a finals rematch, but it will be a banged up one. Hopefully the Celtics should take care of the Mavericks here. And then Monday, the Celtics are back from this little 4-game road trip out west and to Dallas, where they then take on the Houston Rockets at home. Now, this game is going to be an absolute fantastic one. You get to see the likes of Tari Eason, Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun. We've seen the Celtics take on the Rockets in Houston already this year in 2025, where the Celtics got the best of them in a little bit of a blowout. So I do expect the Rockets to pack a punch versus the Celtics this second time come around, especially going to their building after getting embarrassed. But if you are going to this game, you are very lucky because you will get to see the likes of Amen Thompson and Tari Eason, two of the best defensive young wings in the NBA, which is very, very solid. To my honest opinion, I think in this 4-game stretch, the Celtics will honestly go 3-1. I do believe that they could go 2-2 if they do lose to the Clippers tonight, but I do see them taking care of the Lakers and Mavericks here. I may be losing to the Rockets as my prediction. I don't want to say 4-0, but to go on a 5-game win streak. I'll go 3-1 just to be a little bit more realistic. I want to know your thoughts down below in the comment section before we sign out off the stream. Let me know what you guys ultimately think for the Celtics record prediction over this next week, because next Wednesday they take on the Bulls, which will be another game to break down and obviously look ahead as well, as we'll be live once again next Wednesday. Am I tired? A little bit. I won't lie to you, I'm a little bit tired, but we're pumping through. 10:30 is criminal, exactly. And we'll have a post game coming out for you guys after the game as well, right around 1 or 2 o'clock. So if you guys are up, you want to watch the post game, get a little bit of a breakdown on how the game goes, that's where you'll find it. Clippers have 4 injured starters. Exactly, we went over that. These are the games the Celtics lose for some reason. That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping they don't lose to any teams battered with injuries. I don't think the Lakers have any extensive injuries, but I do know the Mavericks and the Clippers both will have extensive amount of injuries when the Celtics do go up against them. So that is good things for the Celtics. Hopefully, we'll make it a little bit easier for them to pull out those 2 victories. Big Zoo is a beast. He is, man. I picked him up in fantasy. I drafted Kristaps Porziņģis as my 3rd center with Jarrett Allen and Alperen Sengun, and I was like, ooh, I'll pick up Zubac. He'll be a good starting center for the Clippers, and I thought that he'd be the Clippers' 3rd best player, and he's been really, really good. We should win tonight. Go Seas from London, England. Lifelong fan. What's up? Yash, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Welcome from England. I love that we got people from all over the globe checking out this Celtics team. It's really, really appreciated. Like you said, I do believe the Celtics should have this win tonight, going up against a little bit of an injured Clippers team. No Kawhi Leonard, possibly no James Harden, no Norman Powell, no Chris Dunn. They should be able to take care of this game and win by 20 plus, hopefully. We should win by 10 due to their injuries, but you know what we are like. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I feel like. 3:30 a.m. game for me, I'll have to skip. Yeah, that's I don't blame you, brother. I do not blame you. That is too early. But you can catch the nice little post game at the wake up when you watch the game. That's the nice part. I think we go 4-0 if Luka doesn't suit up. Okay. So you're very confident in this team. I'm tired, but I want to watch the game. You'll hit 6K this week too. Exactly. I think we'll hit 6K hopefully by the end of tomorrow. That's what I'm hoping. We're less than 10 subscribers away, which is, just super, super nice. And like I said, couldn't be done without your guys' support. Like I said, you guys have been the absolute fantastic part of doing this and what really keeps the engine moving and grooving as we've been soaring through the ranks. We've only been on YouTube for what? Little over a year and a half at this point, maybe not even a year and a half at this point. But we have hit 6K subscribers, which is by all means is more than what I ever thought could ever happen, and that's all due to you guys. So once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's Weekly live stream, where we went over how the Celtics have a golden opportunity here to realistically go on this big, nice win streak here on the road. Like we mentioned, games versus the Clippers, Lakers, Mavericks, and Rockets coming up after they just beat down on the Golden State Warriors, and Celtics fans should be ecstatic that they were able to do that. But now leading up to these next games, the Celtics will be looking on that hunt to keep that hunger and keep this thing alive. Like I said, you guys have been absolutely fantastic. Make sure to keep an eye on Celtics Digest, as there will be a new video going up before the Celtics game. So if you want to get more tidbits of information, definitely check that out. Yash, have a great rest of your night. To everybody else who chatted in here, Alec Richards, Matthew Souza, my boy Josh Crampton, anybody else that I'm missing here, Yao, Cleasy, Skies, I appreciate you all. Thank you guys so much for being in the stream. You guys are absolutely fantastic. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your night, and hopefully the Celtics get us a dub. Catch you guys later. Go Boston Celtics. Peace out.